here we go. Let's formally start our seminar for today. So welcome to Techie Seniors Training, episode number 41, Orientation on National Commission of Senior Citizens Programs and Activities. Our resource speaker for today is Attorney Franklin M. Quijano, Chairperson and Chief Executive Officer of National Commission of Senior Citizens. Okay, so
Thank you
welcome
very
remarks
much,
muna.
Tori.
Thank you
you so
po,
much.
Sir. Opo. Ayan.
I don't know if Charles is already prepared.
Ayan. Okay. So before we start your presentation, sir, can we read our welcome remarks first?
Sige, go ahead.
Okay po. Sige po. Ayan. Okay. So load lang po natin. Ayan. Okay. So welcome remarks, sir, and we will also read your bio note po para mas makilala po kayo ng ating mga listeners. Ayan. So after natin kayo i-present, sir, mag-shoutout muna po tayo sa ating mga nanonood, no? Para mas makilala nila kayo after po natin basahin ang inyong bio note. So let's start with the welcome remarks. Ayan. The Techie Senior Citizens and Retirees Philippines, or Techie Seniors, is a support group for the Filipino elderly and retirees who are enthusiastic to learn more about the web and technology, as well as to explore its day-to-day real-life applications. The vision of this community is for the Philippines to have most of its elderly population to become empowered citizens, functional netizens, no? Din ang gusto natin. Empowerment entails having access to available programs and services and having the liberty to participate in conversations that affect their overall welfare. Senior citizens are as valuable as the other marginalized populations. Ayan, thumbs up talaga tayo dyan. We must have a platform where we can be informed and we can express our opinions on matters concerning us. Ayan. Yun yung secret. Bakit tumagal yung Techie Seniors? Because we listened to our stakeholders, to our members, whether it's good or bad. No? As part of the Elderly Filipino Week celebration, Techie Seniors invited the National Commission of Senior Citizens, or NCSC, to share their vision and objectives, as well as their current and future programs and activities for the elderly. Ayan, excited na kaming marinig yan from Attorney Franklin Quijano. We hope that this orientation will shed some light on some of our concerns, because ultimately, nothing about us without us. Ayan, so tama yan. So welcome, Attorney Franklin Quijano. We will read more details about you para po mas makilala kayo ng ating members or community. Ayan. So Attorney Franklin Quijano may be said to be destined to be one of the champions for senior citizens, being the first appointed chairperson and chief executive officer of the National Commission of Senior Citizens, or NCSC. Served as a city councilor at a two-time Iligan City Mayor and administrator and chief executive officer of PBDEC Industrial Authority. A long-time staunch peace advocate and one of the exponents of system change pushing for federalism. In a word, he has straddled the different corners of government service and is well prepared to be the voice for senior citizens as a senior citizen himself. Born on October 4, 1955 in Dansalan, now Marawi City, to Visayan parents, his father a mechanic and his mother a public school teacher, Franklin Quijano lived a very simple and common life, but the lessons that came out of it was nowhere near ordinary. It taught him the noblest goals, and that of giving unselfish service. Gifted with a sharp mind, he graduated in the elementary as class valedictorian, second honorable mention in high school, Lasal Iligan, and was chosen one of the esteemed state scholars. He graduated cum laude in AB Economics of San Carlos University, Cebu. All throughout, he supported himself through scholarships and even sharing half of his stipend to the education of his brothers and sisters. Ever the loving eldest that he is, he saw to it that his brothers and sisters had finished their education first before he got married. Wow. While teaching economics at the University of San Carlos in Cebu, the youngest instructor to boot. He studied law as a self-supporting student and even founded the first debating team of the college. With dogged determination, he passed the Philippine Bar in 1983. His deep commitment to public service has been rewarded and recognized through awards such as the Most Outstanding City Mayor of the Philippines, Local Government Leadership Award, the Gawad Galing Pook Award, and the Conrad Adenauer Medal of Excellence, among others. With his background, Chairperson Quijano has been harnessing his extensive experiences to find ways on how to proactively respond to the needs as well as create opportunities for the senior citizens. It is the firm belief of Chairperson Quijano that senior citizens are not just mere recipients of government services, but they are also productive citizens, thumbs up tayo dyan, who are willing to contribute in nation building if provided the avenue to do so. Yan, very aligned yan sa Techie seniors, no? So, with all due respect, let's all welcome Attorney Franklin Quijano. Good morning po, sir.
Thank you very much, Cory. Although I may be judgmental and will say you don't look like a senior, but I would like to categorize you as an aspiring senior citizen, and we hope that in a number of years you will really help all the senior citizens in upscaling not just our techie concerns, but all others as well. Anyway, allow me to share some of the thoughts of the National Commission of Senior Citizens as we did a lot of discussion on which direction we are to take. Next slide, Charles. So the National Commission of Senior Citizen is a new commission which was created on July 25, 2019. And we would like to emphasize that this law was created all after the Mandanas ruling. So to those who have that technology as well, to take a look at the implications of what the newest law means, we would like to say that we therefore will be embracing the Mandanas ruling, but at the same time, we would like to emphasize that the commission has been mandated by law and by our government to take charge of the concerns of all the senior citizens of this country. Being a new office, all of the appointees therefore are all newly appointed, and we have Commissioner Idaya Patron, who comes from the Davao region, and then we have Commissioner Edwin Espejo, who comes from the Region 12, Jensan region, and then we have Commissioner Raymar Mansilongan, who was born in Region 3, but married in Region 5 and a resident of NCR. We also have Commissioner Ricardo Rainier Cruz, who has retired from the military and brought with it. We also brought to us extensive knowledge on the senior citizens. Commissioner Ricardo Rainier Cruz is from NCR and Region 4A. And then we have Commissioner Enriqueta Roncal Rodeles from Region 8. So she hails from Samar, but she has extensive knowledge on calculation, being an accountant. Of course, the last picture at the bottom is yours truly. Next slide, please, Charles. The Commission of Senior Citizen, like I said, was created under Republic Act 11350. It mandates the amendment of Republic Act 7432 and moves forward into consolidating and strengthening these sectoral concerns of the National Commission of Senior Citizens and senior citizens as a sector. Next, please. Looking at the different laws that were passed before Republic Act 11350, we found out that there are certain very beautiful and interesting laws that were passed. And this encouraged the Commission to even move some more. The first of which is Republic Act 7432. In 7432, the senior citizens are considered pillars in nation building. And so that brought us a question, how can we be pillars in nation building? Of course, having spent so much in years in this country, we also would like to say that we have been part of the heroic deeds of our country by giving our taxes, working for the economy, contributing to the gross domestic product, etc., etc. Of course, corollarily, we say that because we have reached this age, even as we have been net contributors to the welfare of our economy, our country, we also would like to say that this time, reaching this age, we would like to have a share of the welfare that is generated by the economy. And that is why the subsequent laws, Republic Act 9257 and Republic Act 9994, speaks of how the senior citizens will benefit from the welfare provisions of the laws. So it is in 9994, for instance, that defines the social pension and to whom will the social pension go. Of course, we have other laws, the Constitution, Republic Act 3444, the Accessibility Law, which says that every infrastructure, every building should be so designed that everyone, including the senior citizens and the PWD, will have easy access to these infrastructures. Of course, there is so much to be done on this, and so like what Corey is saying, we need you to tell us the good, but we also need you to tell us what needs to be done to improve the services of government and the services even of the private sector. Republic Act 710 says that the local government code should be able to accommodate the senior citizens being an organized group. In fact, this may be a little negative, but we are saying the youth are represented in the municipal, the barangay council, the municipal and city councils, and the provincial councils. You have the SK. Some of the SK are not even allowed to vote yet, and yet they are represented in the council. And so the other side of the argument is how much more for all the senior citizens, which number about 12.3 million. Aren't we allowed to be part of the legislative process and the legislative mill? However, we realize that even if we are not yet considered as part and will not be sitting as councilors or board members, there still is a lot of role to play, because in the local development council, the barangay development council, the municipal development council, the city and the provincial development council, or even the regional development councils, the senior citizen may be represented as a people's organization, an NGO. And so therefore, we would like to urge all these senior citizens to organize themselves and take part in planning for our country. In fact, one of the issues that is being discussed by a lot of senior citizens uh, is the question, where does the 1% of the budget go? The 1% which is supposed to be allocated to the senior citizens and the PWD. And my proposal is for the senior citizens to be active so they would know, they would be part of the planning process, because remember, in governance and under the local government code, we start with planning. After we plan, we proceed with budgeting. After we budget, we proceed with spending and the expenditure programs. Therefore, no budget is supposed to be done without planning. And planning is supposed to be done using the participatory approaches, using the local government code, which demands that all barangays are supposed to submit their barangay development plans to the cities and the municipalities, and all cities and municipalities are supposed to submit their development plans to the region. So in here, we would like to urge all senior citizens be part of the democratic process of governance with transparency and accountability. The next item is Republic Act 7876, which law says that we would like all the local governments, the local jurisdictions to have senior citizens center. And when we say senior citizen center, it is not just a place for the seniors to mill around. It should be a place which is very safe and which may contain a lot of safe spaces, including a forest if necessary. But it will not just be a building. If I am to give some comments on it. So yan po yung requirement na sa ngayon we are trying to have an inventory, because not all barangays, not all cities and municipalities have senior citizens center. And therefore, I hope that our listeners will also take a look at this, give us some feedback on where the ideal places for the senior citizen center in their respective residences. The other law is Republic Act 10645, the mandatory PhilHealth law, or otherwise known as the Universal Health Care. Just recently, we had a good discussion with PhilHealth, and we found out that the senior citizens can definitely benefit from their program, their latest program called Consulta. It actually implies that if all the senior citizens will have their Consulta, or if the senior citizens will have their free annual regular medical, dental, optical, and ear examination, then we will be better off. And I think this could be part of the Techie senior advocacy. I found out that hindi ho lahat ng mga seniors ay nagpapa-annual examination, nagpapa-annual medical examination. Sometimes because of the issue of can we afford it, and sometimes because we are just too overconfident that we are healthy. But at this age, it would be good if we would know the health profile that we have, if we are able to identify the benchmarks of our health conditions. So ito po yung program na sumasali din tayo, hinihikayat natin ang ating mga senior citizen na magkakaroon ng annual medical and physical examination. When this happens, then the National Commission of Senior Citizens and all the seniors will be more confident on the primary health care and the preventive health systems. instead of waiting to go to the hospital and cause a deterioration of our health condition. It may be good if we are forewarned and are aware of our health condition so that sa bahay pa lamang ma-address na ito, we might be able to eat the best food that provides us strength in our health. We might be able to get the best maintenance medicine, etc., etc. So that's the universal health care that the NCC is also advocating. And the next will also, of course, be the centenarian law. The centenarian law says that if you reach the age of 100, you will get 100,000. But of course, before reaching the age of 100, we will appreciate the families to submit the corresponding documents so that when the senior citizen reaches 100, halos agad-agad may bibigay ng pamahalaan yung 100,000. You might ask, anong gagawin ni 100 years old sa 100,000? Be that as it may, we would like to even say, sana we will look at it as the finish line, which becomes a milestone in our existence to encourage all the senior citizens to live longer lives. And therefore, when we live longer lives, we must be strong and healthy. The next is 10911. Republic Act 10911 says anti-AIDS discrimination. There is much to be done on anti-AIDS discrimination because even as we encourage all the senior citizens to be techie, to make them more marketable, there are certain obstacles to employment as we grow old. And we want you to be part of the advocacy groups to convince Congress to lift the obstacles to the employment of senior citizens. What are these obstacles? Number one, the civil service law. Number two, the retirement law or the GSIS law, the SSS law, and so on and so forth. Kasi in the Philippines, you are required to retire only once. There are only few exceptions. And therefore, if you apply at age 66, and then you will invoke Republic Act 10911, the anti-AIDS discrimination, ang magiging sagot sa iyo is 66 ka na, ang SSS at GSIS law and civil service law does not allow you to be an employee. And then, of course, you will be considered because of your skills and you will just become a consultant. But the consultant is not a member of SSS and GSIS. And therefore, even as you receive income and emoluments or honoraria, as the case may be, di ba dapat sana as you work, covered ka ng insurance. So all these things actually needs a lot of improvement. And therefore, the National Commission of Senior Citizens is advocating for a multiple retirement program. In the multiple retirement program, we have seen that in other places, in other countries of who are considered modern, advanced, etc., nagkakaroon sila ng multiple retirement. So in the US, which we are all familiar of because marami tayong mga relatives, may mga nagre-retire at age 40. At age 40, especially with the military, they receive their retirement and then nagliliwaliw sila ng ilang buwan. And then as they are receiving retirement benefits, nag-a-apply na naman sila. And so they work the second time. And as they reach the age of 60 or 65, magre-retire na naman sila, tatanggap sila ng second retirement and magliliwaliw ng ilang buwan at tatrabaho na naman hanggang walang katapusan yan, multiple retirement. About 2 months ago, I met a guy from San Francisco who was working as a safety officer. His age, 80 years old. So we are saying that there is so much to be done to improve our laws, and we hope you will be part of it. There are other laws, and there are also other international agreements, not only the UN Declaration of Human Rights, the UN Principles on Older Persons, the Madrid International Plan of Action for Aging, etc., etc. We hope that you will also be able to make a cursory reading of all that should be done to provide a wider space, a greener opportunity for the senior citizens. Next, Charles. These are the senior program for the commission. This is the core programs that we have done after a lot of soul searching, some strategic and operational planning. I will start with the last because to me, ito yung importante sa mga Techie seniors. Database, ICT and MIS. Nung nag-umpisa kami sa National Commission of Senior Citizen, that was the first question we were asking. How many seniors are there in this country? And the answers we received were varied. From one agency, they say, as of 2015, 7 million lang po kasi ang seniors. Kaya ang ginamit naming benchmark is 7 million. And then of course, we asked ourselves, 2022 na ngayon eh. The number has changed tremendously. Of course, the latest reports coming from PSA and POPCOM indicates that there are 12.3 million senior citizens. Look at it. These are just numbers yet, even as we say age is just a number. So ang tinitingnan natin, ano ang implication nitong number na ito, ng data na ito, and we really would like to ask you to be part of the solution of generating not just the data but the names and the profiles for the senior citizen. We found out that we don't have much because PSA is hamstrung by the data privacy law. And of course, hopefully we will be able to convince them to open up a bit. But we really are looking for what are the sources of data para makilala namin ang lahat na 12.3 million plus senior citizens. Saan kami kukuha ng data? Pumunta kami sa DSWD, ang sagot sa amin ay ang data na nasa kanila ay yun lamang binibigyan nila ng social pension. Yun pong senior citizens na considered as frail, sickly, and indigent. So, yung hindi frail, yung hindi sickly, yung hindi indigent, hindi po kasali ng data ng DSWD. So, the thing that we have thought of is baka doon na talaga tayo sa local government units, sa mga OSCA at sa mga kanya-kanyang organisasyon. And so that includes my asking the Techie seniors, gaano ba kayo kadami? Baka pwede kayong tumulong, yung lahat ng miyembro, baka pwedeng mag-generate ng database for the National Commission of Senior Citizens dahil we would not be able to have a good start and even advocate for the lifelong learning if you don't even have the database. Kaya umiikot po tayo sa buong bansa ngayon at hinikayat natin yung mga LGU at mga OSCA. Bigyan niyo po kami ng mga pangalan ng mga senior citizen, hindi lamang pangalan kundi sana yung kanilang skill sets at kanilang health profile. Pag nalaman natin yung health profile, for instance, then we would be able to advocate for a healthier senior citizen because we can match and be a bridge to the different health systems, the Department of Health, the local health authorities na mayroong mga maintenance medicine. So yan po ang isa sa mga hiningi namin sa aming ginawang data form. We of course would like to submit to the Techie seniors kasi may data form tayo, and if you want to have copies of it, you might be able to help improve the data form. Let me just proceed to the next items. Maybe I need not explain some more yung issue ng database. I will leave to the Techie seniors yung complexities and yung magandang features ng database. Let me just go into the different programs. The other programs is SECADNA, Senior Citizens Action for Development and Nation Building. We are saying here that this fulfills the first thought of 7432, which says that senior citizens are pillars in nation building. How can we be pillars? We can be pillars if we can help in the development of our country, in the gross national product, in addressing the issues of business, in creating business opportunity, or guiding others to go into business and be part of the success of the social and private enterprises. So issues like bakit hanggang ngayon bumabaha pa ang isang bundok na lungsod like Baguio? Perhaps the senior citizens can help. Nasa bundok ka na, may ano ka pa, may issue pa ng drainage. Of course, all the more sa Metro Manila and the rest of the cities, may mga baha na nangyayari pagka umuulan ng malakas. We would like to be part of the solution of our country's problems. And therefore, yan, sana po I can append yung Techie seniors as part of the SECADNA, because definitely the more Techie seniors there are in this country, the more we will have an opportunity of addressing the challenges of our country in terms of the lifelong learning, or even in terms of the personal difficulties. But more importantly, our Techie seniors may also be able to be contributive, maging susi sila sa pagbigay ng pansin sa mga problema ng ating bansa, since they will be in the social media and they would easily be able to communicate the different concerns and challenges of the respective jurisdictions in this country. Yan po ang isang importanteng programa, and I'd like you to be part of it, the Techie seniors. In this item, we are saying that the senior citizens can be even more productive. But even as we advocate for the seniors to be productive, we should not forget the fact that for us to be productive, we must be healthy. So the second program is called Wellness, Health, Emergency Response, and Benefits for the Senior Citizens. And so this brings us to mind the issue of nakapagbakunan na ba kayo? Baka magaling kayo sa technology, hindi mataas yung immunity ninyo. So we are actually advocating na for the seniors to be productive, they must have a high level of immunity, because immunity is the name of the game. Pagka immune ka, halos hindi ka matatablan ng anumang sakit. So therefore we were born, our design by God and nature is that we have some amounts of immunity. Kaya hindi madaling matatablan yung yung infant ng sakit. And then of course, we get the boosters from the mother, which is called colostrum. Ito yung milk galing sa mother. And so immunity is built up as we grow old, and we are supposed to be eating the best food so our immunity is maintained. However, we realize that bumabagsak pong yung immunity as we face the stresses in life. There are natural stresses, there are artificial stresses. The artificial stresses are very familiar with us. Umiinom, naninigarilyo, matagal matulog, dami-dami. So, tinatawag yan commonly as bisyo. So, when that happens and we get some disease, we get sick, we, of course, will go to the doctor and ask for the drugs that are designed for it. But pwedeng ipataas uli yung ating immunity. And that is when we eat good food. Sabi ni JPE, si Secretary Enrile, sabi niya, ang Ilocano ay mahaba ang buhay dahil sa kinakain na, ano nga yun? Yung vegetable na kinakain ng Ilocano. And then, of course, the Visayan, malunggay, etc., etc. So we want you to eat good food, healthy nutrition. And of course, pati honey ay good immunity builder. And of course, colostrum through the animal milk. Then of course, we say, well, we need to do more. That's why vaccination becomes a necessary step. Sana po kasangga kayo sa National Commission of Senior Citizen in helping convince all the senior citizens to do vaccination, including boosters. The next program is called SECURE, Senior Citizens Unit for Rights Enforcement. And in here, we are saying that we, the seniors, have our basic rights, our basic human rights, our basic health rights, and that is kasama na yung universal health care sa assurance natin ng basic health right. And of course, our being members of Club 20. I don't know if you're aware of this, but you are senior citizens, members of Club 20. What I am really saying is yung 20% discount. If you have your 20% discount and you're not, if you want to avail of it, you're not given that, then of course we will be concerned, the National Commission of Senior Citizens. So please call our attention if ever there are those businesses or even transportation or even yun, pati electricity bill, water bill, and grocery stores. Ito yung mga dapat magbigay ng senior citizens discounts. The next program is the program that is to be transferred to us from DSWD. As it is right now, we have signed a memorandum of agreement with DSWD for the transfer of social pensions, centenarian, benefits to support the disabled senior citizen, the residential care facilities, etc., etc. Ito yung ginagawa nila na according to 11350, ita-transfer sa National Commission of Senior Citizens. However, certain bureaucratic requirements tell us that hindi mai-transfer kaagad dahil kailangang i-wind up, kailangang i-identify, kailangang may certain agreements na may ta-transfer ito. So please be patient with us. It is taking time, and I hope you will be part of the solution of the transfer of the functions of giving the 500 pesos na magiging 1,000 to the indigent senior citizens. That's the social pension. This year, it's still 500 pesos. But with a new law, after 9994, the law is 11916, which was passed last July. uh, Dapat magiging 1,000 pesos na yung matatanggap ng indigent senior citizen. However, right now, dahil pinag-uusapan pa lang ang budget, the budget, I hope, will be deliberated by the lower house and Senate and will be submitted to the President, President BBM, to be part of the General Appropriations Act. When it will be included in the budget, ang matatanggap ng indigent senior citizen in 2023 would be 1,000 pesos per month. However, pagka hindi napasa ang budget, naku po, 500 pesos lang po muna. So I'm not sure of this. Perhaps our senior citizens, our Techie senior citizens will be able to help me track this in the legislative mill. The other program is called Risk Assessment, Safety and Security Management Unit. We are all aware that no one is exempt from the disasters, especially if it strikes our area. Earthquakes, typhoons, volcanic eruption, flooding, landslides, and all. So the program includes this as part of the NCSC's strategy. Then we have two interoperable programs, ProPLAL and In Accord. ProPLAL is really just about program, plans, and legislative liaison. In here, our thought about multiple retirement, we would like to include that as our agenda to be brought to Congress. Even as our congressman of the Senior Citizen Party list is saying that we should lift the retirement age, we would like to say, hindi lang pagtanggal ng retirement age ang gagawin natin, pati po multiple retirement. There are other things that we need to do as well, and we need feedback from the Techie seniors on what legislative action our congressmen can take, and we will be part of the lobbying process. Of course, the Accord is really an interagency coordination, including the agencies outside of this country. Even conscious that the demographics of the senior citizens is rapidly changing. Japan, for instance, is considered an aged population in the sense that for every 10 Japanese, there are 4 senior citizens. And there are lots of implication there. For instance, instead in that ratio, you will have 6 workers to 4 retirees. Pag ang 4 na retirees ay hindi magiging techie at hindi tutulong, then the 6 will be overtaxed and overburdened. And therefore, yan yung tinatawag natin as dependency ratio. In the case of the Philippines, for every 10 Filipinos, isa pa lang ang senior citizen. And so it may be considered as magaan pa sa ngayon. But in the future, 15 to 20 years from now, the number can double. Instead of 12.3 million, it can reach 24 or even 28 million. Ano ang ibig sabihin nito? If our society is not prepared, if our families are not prepared, then there's a tendency that our country will be overburdened by the many programs that we need to take. Just take the case of the senior citizens na walang nagbibigay pansin, yung nasa residential care facilities. Of course, we pride ourselves in the Philippines that yung mga seniors natin ay inaaruga, kinukupkop ng ating mga pamilya. That is very good, but will it last as the number grows? So we would like the Techie seniors to also help us in creating an atmosphere of intergenerational dialogue. Nang sa ganon, ang bawat pamilya ay conscious kung gaano kadami yung seniors sa pamilya at paano magtulungan sa ibang pamilya para magkaroon ng shock absorbent na effect yung tulungan ng pamilya. Kasi pagka hindi inabsorb ng pamilya ang burden, then ang ating government will have a bigger burden to carry, and the tendency is it will mean more taxes as well. So yan po yung pag-uusapan natin, paano natin gawan ng project familia ang ating society so that we will be able to create an atmosphere of a lighter burden for an increasing number of senior citizens. Finally, the ninth program is called Participatory Communication and Education Plan. So with the Participatory Communication and Education Plan, I would hope that the Techie seniors would be part of it, because as we speak, we need a lot of outlets, networks, and hub to share our thoughts and share your thoughts as well. So this interchange, which is called participatory, becomes even better and be more liberative if all of us will be communicating. The ramification of what I am saying is really so much. And I even have not talked about the ID of the senior citizen. Cory and Jenica, I hope, I don't know, medyo mataas na kasi ang sinasabi ko, but let me just deal with that briefly. Tingnan niyo po yung mga ID ninyo, senior citizens. Ang nakalaman doon, yung ID number ay 5 digits lamang. Mukhang walang ID si Cory. So, yung nakikinig lang, yung ang ID number ng senior citizens is 5 digits lamang. But when we said there are 12.3 million senior citizens, lalabas doon na ang dapat digits ng ID would be about 8 digits. So anong nangyayari? Our ID are still archaic. In fact, it tends to even be violative to the data privacy kasi nakasaad doon sa ID pati yung address natin. At saka, di ba, yung mga detalye, doon sa data privacy dapat walang address eh. So we are saying we can improve on the ID that we are having, and the National Commission of Senior Citizens is at this stage of discussing that. In fact, sana kung ang ID na yan ay magiging ATM as well, at may chip at may QR code, then hindi na kailangang magdala ang senior citizen ng booklet. Kung hindi na kailangang magdala ang senior citizen ng booklet at ID na lamang, it can even be transposed to our cellphone. At kung magkaroon tayo ng QR code sa cellphone na lang isa-scan ng mga tindahan at mga pharmacy yung ating QR code. And yung data storage will even be more reliable. In fact, we can go farther in saying pag nawala yung cellphone na yon, mahahanap din dahil may GPS siya. Kaya kung mawala yung cellphone na yon, baka kasama yung senior citizen, at kung kasama ang senior citizen, mahahanap din natin si senior citizen dahil may tracking device ang cellphone. I have said so much, Cory and Jenica. I hope I have not exceeded my time, but there are many things that we can discuss together in order for the seniors to be all the more techie. So thank you very much, and God bless you. By the way, moving on to where we can be contacted, Charles, please. The next slide, please. Yan. The National Commission of Senior Citizen is holding office at the ground floor, 106 Mabini Hall, Malacanang, Manila. Our email address is ph.ncsc@gmail.com. Again, ph.ncsc@gmail.com. So we would like to hear from you, Techie seniors, and we hope that we can increase our exchanges so that we will have more deliverables, you being part of Sekada. Thank you very much. Good morning. God bless.
Thank you po, Attorney Franklin Quijano. So, sir, we have a few questions and comments from our members. Ayan, active yung ating mga members sa comment section. Sir, is it okay to greet some of our attendees, audience today? Yeah. So, good morning to
Yes,
Ma'am
ma'am.
Aaron
Up to
from
the limit.
CDO, sir. Yes, sir. So, galing pa po siya. Nakikinig siya ngayon, Cagayan de Oro, sir. So, yeah. So, good morning po, Sir Rod Bornales. So helpful to us seniors watching at Antique. Thank you daw. So, yeah, good morning, Ma'am Vilma, Sir Richard Paa, Ma'am Son, Ma'am Rebecca, Sir Manly, good morning po, Ma'am Delia Borja, Nita Contreras, ayan, Ma'am Liana, Ma'am Marian, Ma'am Lanuza, and Ma'am Delia Borja. So happy. I think they're happy to hear from you, sir, yung mga updates and plans nyo from NCSC. So okay lang po ba, sir, if we share with you their insights and questions?
Opo, up to the limit.
Okay, sir. Ayan. Thank you po ulit. So we heard your call no, sa
Naputol yata.
Okay po. So we got disconnected. So sorry about this.
Yeah, I was about to comment on that, Cory. Yung
Opo.
reliability ng system natin, baka dapat din pag-usapan ng Techie seniors. We have all the infrastructures which are not interconnected with each other. So baka si Techie seniors ay magbigay ng proposal sa ating pamahalaan. Paano pag-interconnect ng mga hindi ginagamit na mga infrastructure sa communication?
Ayan, okay. So we're back online. Yes, sir, di ba? As a woman coming from the IT industry, we really rely on reports internationally. So we like to align with the United Nations for Techie Seniors and other international organizations for our technological activities. Ayan, sir. And as well sa local, no, lalo na yung ating Data Privacy Act. Okay, so let's continue, sir. So we heard your call for the civil society to take part in building an age-friendly community. So sana po, hindi lang yung Techie seniors, but other senior citizens will take part or do the role as well. Ayan. So about the intergenerational dialogue, we had a webinar in NEDA, no, about age-friendly workplace. So nag-uumpisa na po silang ma-identify or yung campaigns nila for senior citizens. So sana mas marami pa pong agencies, no, private institutions ang mag-create ng age-friendly workplaces or yung sinasabi natin na DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion workplaces, no? We have a problem. Ngayon lang nangyari to. Sorry po about this, Attorney Franklin. Ayan. So para po mas bumilis po tayo. May comment po, may questions po yung iba. Sabi nila may mga pharmacies na hindi po sumusunod sa discounts ng mga gamot. Ano po ang dapat gawin?
Okay, that's a good question, Cory. Ganito yon. In the jurisdiction where you are, may implementing arm po ang pamahalaan natin, and that is the local chief executive, yung LGU, through the OSCA. So sana po, pag may ganong question, bring it to the OSCA and then ask the OSCA what action to take, give them the timeline because under the law, may dapat timeline sila, di ba, on addressing the issues. However, if you feel that or if you have seen that hindi kumikilos at gumagalaw si OSCA, then please call our attention. We will be the one to create the bridge towards DTI and to FDA and all. So yan yung mandate ni National Commission of Senior Citizens. However, we say that may frontline tayo kasi si Oscar andyan. We hope that dalhin nyo kay Oscar. So that ang magiging depensa kasi ng isang institusyon is you have not exhausted the administrative remedies. May Oscar kayo, kaya kailangan dalhin nyo doon. Pagka walang action si Oscar, saka si NCSC.
Okay po. Thank you po. Sir, may we request for you to reset yung video niyo po? Stop your video, then turn it on po. Ayan, para makita po namin kayo, sir. So sorry for the technical difficulty for today sa ating internet connection.
Nandyan na ba?
Wala pa po, sir.
Paano?
Wait po. Okay, stop ko po yung video nyo, then...
Sige daw.
Opo. Ayan. Then, please click on turn on your video po.
Yan. Yeah, Jenica,
Yeah,
nakikita ba ako?
Yeah. Sir, you're
Oo.
moving na po. Okay na po.
Okay. So, Techie, Cory, saan ka na?
Na-vlog po ako sa Zoom natin sa mga po. Sige, sir. I'll continue with the bumalik na po siya.
Yan. Andiyan na si Techie, Cory.
Okay, we're having bad internet connection today.
Yeah, can you see me now, Cory?
Naka-off pa rin po ang video nyo, sir.
Sir, sa akin okay na. Sorry, baka yun sa internet po yung...
Oo nga po. Ayan.
Oo,
Thank you.
pero I
Thank
can
you
see
po.
it.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Miss Jenica, for confirming. Okay, so let's go. So yung next question, sir, is nasagot niyo naman na po kanina kung bakit daw po hindi or kailangan mag-stop ng 60 to 65 years old. Sa tingin ko po, gusto pa nilang magtrabaho ng mas matagal. Ayan po.
Yeah, we share that. In fact, marami tayong applicants na gustong magtrabaho and yet we are saying we have an obstacle to face and that is yung batas.
Okay po. Yes. So next po, ito medyo marami pong comments. So gusto lang po namin i-raise yung kanilang napapansin. Meron po sa aming community na nagtanong, naka-receive daw po sila ng parang profile form. Pero I think hindi daw po na-explain ng mabuti na pagka-receive niya from her local government unit, para saan ang form na yon, kung safe po ba yon, saan po ba yun mapapadala, bakit daw po may hinihingi ng mga iba't ibang numbers ng IDs, parang hindi daw po sila komportable pirmahan yung form. Ano po
Okay.
ang masasabi niyo po doon, attorney?
Yeah. Thank you, Cory. The data form that we sent to all the LGU contains the seal of the National Commission of Senior Citizen. It contains more or less 4 or 5 general aspects. One is yung pangalan, saan ipinanganak, kailan ipinanganak, at saan nakatira. Yun yung personal data nila. Then of course, kasali doon yung mga anak, saan yung mga anak, at ano ang trabaho ng mga anak. Then of course, yung income profile. Saan nagtatrabaho, ano ang tinatrabaho, kung nagtatrabaho pa. Because there are some seniors who are still working even at this age. About 40% of the 12.3 million are still in the farms, the fishing grounds, and the forest. Kaya sinasabi nating retired na at 65, hindi po totoo lahat. May mga hindi pa nagre-retire dahil wala silang retirement program. So we would like all this data to be included in the data form. Then of course, we would like to know the skill sets of our senior citizens. The reason is we are on the stage of organizing. Like the Techie seniors, we would like to know ano yung abilidad ng mga senior citizen. Or better still, the question would be, ano ba ang iiwanan natin na mga abilidad sa next generation? Yung next generation ba ay marunong pa magbayo? Paano yung nalaman natin sa pagbayo? Ibibigay pa ba natin sa kanila o hindi? Marunong tayong magbayo, marunong tayong magtahip. And I think these skills need to be passed on kasi we will never know the future. In fact, the future is not assured of us. May areas na ilang buwan na tamaan ng Typhoon Odette, walang kuryente. Paano nila kakanin yung bigas nila, yung palay, kung hindi babalik ka sa pagbayo? So we are saying that there are many other skill sets. Paano gumawa ng bayong, paano gumawa ng basket, etc., etc. These are the skill sets we would want to know because we want to be part of nation building. Finally, yung health profile. Sinali natin yung health profile because we want to be part of the solution in telling government may marami pong mga seniors na nangangailangan ng attention in terms of nutrition and in terms of maintenance medicine. Pagka meron tayong health profile, wala nang maging rason ang isang ahensya ng pamahalaan na binabaon na lang sa lupa yung medicine dahil nag-expire. If all the seniors would be enrolled, alam natin anong kinakailangan nila, then they deserve to have a complete dose of maintenance medicine. So yan po ang rason bakit meron tayong kadami-daming tanong in 2 pages, by the way. And we hope that you will support and give your participation by giving it back to our OSCAs and our LGU. In fact, there are other senior citizens organization na tumutulong din. And so if you trust the different senior citizens organization enough, they could give the data form to us, sometimes through the OSCA or directly to us. So right now, busy tayo dyan. Kaya baka may mga proposal si Techie Senior, paano pa natin lalong mapadali. We are actually thinking of doing it through online filling up. But we are still in the process of preparing the application and the software. So maybe si Cory na makakatulong sa amin dyan. Yung data form gawing para bagang kung mag-a-apply ka sa US Embassy ng visa, di ba? Mag-o-online ka lang. Yan din yung ano natin, tinitingnan natin. I hope I have answered the question, Cory.
Yes, sir. And we understand that what you're trying to do is to transform this sector. And we know that it is not easy, no? So kailangan maging patient tayo, no? For NCSC. Tama po ba yun, sir?
Opo, opo. Thank you po.
Opo. So, kasi sa Techie Seniors, hindi naman po kami isang pitik umayos eh, no? So, this is a common phase, no, process that any startup organization goes through. So, as long as sa amin po sa Techie Seniors, we listen to our members, whether it's good or bad, pareho po kasing nakakatulong yun. So, thank you, sir. We really appreciate your time. Ayan po. So marami pong comments dito. Basahin lang po natin ng konti. So Attorney Franklin's rollout of NCSC's programs is much appreciated. It would be good to have all this as current content in NCSC's website, if any. So we believe, sir, yung website nyo is under development, correct po?
Opo. We are
Yes,
still in
sir.
the process of asking the ICT yung ilang mga, kaya if you will notice, ang ating contact is
Yes, sir.
ph.ncsc@gmail.com
Yes, sir.
muna. But sooner we will be
Oo.
able to have our website, etc., etc.
Yes, sir. As long as the concerns are given the proper attention, so okay lang po yun, no? Yung technology is built to help assist humans, no? And I think that is what NCSC is doing. And as long as you continue to evolve and innovate, you will be better at what you're doing po, no? So sabi ni Mr. Rod Bornales, thank you sa organizers and facilitators of this Zoom meeting. Learned a lot here, syempre, dahil sa mga information na binigay ng NCSC. According to Ma'am Lima Pua, seniors should have access to computer internet in all the barangays. Correct po, we agree, dapat yung each barangay sana po may library and computer para po sa mga indigent seniors yan. Okay. So,
May you make a
ayan, and
reaction,
maybe include basic computer literacy as well.
Cory?
Yes po.
May I make a reaction? Yan po yung sabi ko sa iyo na baka pwede tayong gumawa ng isang summit for all the barangays to have internet. Kasi much is said about the thoughts and plans of government. Ngunit you have to reality check in terms of availability of cell phone signal, for instance. 30% lang ng ating bansa is covered by the cell phone signals. Make it 40, you still have a deficiency of 60. And yet we want everyone to partake of advanced technology. So pwedeng sana you will pick this up, Cory, together with the other concerned groups. Paano natin ma-increase yung diameter, yung radius ng satellite, fiber optic, etc. Coverage, internet coverage.
Opo. I think DICT is doing a good job, no, on checking the connectivity sa entire country. And for digital equity for senior citizens, yun nga po, campaign din namin sa Techie Seniors na sana yung mga private institutions and telcos will give consideration sa discounts for devices and internet connections po, no, sa bills ng mga senior citizens para po may enough access to information. Ayan. So sabi ni Ma'am El, dito po sa amin wala pang pinasasagutan na forms tungkol dyan sa data gatherings nyo. Ayan. So yung napakaganda po nung inaasikaso nyo po yung data collection kasi based po sa United Nations, isa po yan sa three goals nila for International Day of Older Persons. So aligned po talaga yan. So thank you po, Sir Attorney Franklin Quijano po. Ayan. So meron pa po tayong, yes, sir.
If it is possible yung nagsabing hindi pa dumarating sa kanila yung data form, baka pwedeng idaan sa inyo yung mga internet addresses nila, yung email addresses, para maibigay natin yung data form to them. So yung data form kasi is for free. Hindi po yan binabayaran, kaya binibigay natin to speed up the database building natin, yung information systems natin. So sana ibigay nila yung email address and then we will provide them the data form.
Okay, so with that, sir, for our listeners today, the email address of National Commission of Senior Citizens is ph.ncsc@gmail.com. We will also type that in the comment section and sa ating FB group at i-share din natin yan sa ating FB page. So meron lang pong comment, no, si isa nating member dito. So sabi ni Sir Mandy, priority should be on inventory of senior citizens. The Commission should consider data from the LGUs since only municipalities and cities issue official SCID cards. It would safe to say that their list is the nearest accurate. Ayan. So pwede rin daw po itap yan, sir. It only
Yeah.
needs some monthly updating as the number changes as new members come in, while some others finally retire for good. There is the need for an inventory of some data such as professional skills, health status, and others. The Commission also needs to communicate its constituents. Ayan, sir, mas gusto doon nila, lagi daw po kayo nilang naririnig. For us to be updated on Commission programs, projects, and activities, try regular radio and television along social media on a continuing basis. Ayun, sir. Gusto yata nila kayo magkaroon ng parang radio program, ganyan. Gusto nila lagi kayo nakikita. Possible
Thank you,
daw po
Cory.
ba yan, sir?
As much as possible, I do. There are invitations, I appear. But somehow, yung importance ng networking sa communication, distribution ng media. So I'd like to also hope na si Techie Senior kayo tutulong doon sa regular natin na media information and education works. But I'd like to make some comments as well. Originally kasi, ang trabaho ng pag-print ng ID is with the SWD. But according to the law, to 7432 to 9994, ang magbibigay, ang mag-i-issue ng printed ID ay si local government unit. We see that there is a need to improve on the ID system kasi sometimes naabuso si ID, Ma'am Cory. May mga ilang lugar na nalaman natin na binibigay ang ID sa isang 52-year-old. So that already is a crime. So that's why we are concerned. The NCSC would like to design an ID system na hindi man kami ang magpiprint, ang LGU man ang maggagawa, at least we would know how the ID security will be made so that, kasi according to law, ID is acceptable everywhere in the Philippines Ay pagka ganon, kailangan may security system na may install tayo. So I appreciate the question raised. In fact, I appreciate that the LGUs are the ones issuing, but the security system will also have to be taken into consideration. NCSC is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you po, sir. We agree. Sana rin sa LGUs, they recognize that they need capacity building in handling data processing. They will do the necessary steps to upgrade their skills. Okay, so sir, medyo overtime na tayo, pero I hope you still have time for 2 more questions. Okay lang po ba, sir? Last questions natin.
Up to the limit.
Okay po. So sabi, comment, possible daw po ba para sa policy makers natin to give incentives at a younger age? Kasi sir, di ba, parang masyado na daw po yata ang matanda yung 100 years old. Possible daw po kayo na parang 70, 80, 90. Ayun.
Well, I appreciate the design of the law. Yung centenarian law kasi is for the centenarian. 100 years old, 100,000. Naririnig ko yan. Ang dami na. 80 ako, kailangan na rin. Di ba? 90 ako, kailangan na rin. Sabi ko, hindi na yan centenarian. Octogenarian na yan pagka 80. So we are saying that yes, that is possible if we are able to convince Congress, lower house and Senate to pass a law to be approved by the President. Otherwise, if budget is one thing, then the local government units may be able to give supplemental supports for the welfare. And I find one of the local government, yung Kawayan Isabela, pagdating ng 90 may 10,000. Pagdating ng 91, 10,000 na naman. So hanggang 99, naging 100,000. Hindi pa umaabot ng 100, may 100,000 na. So certain local practices may be able to enrich the senior citizen welfare program. We will thank them in advance and keep on convincing our local government authorities.
Okay, so that's good to know. So pag sa mga ganitong cases, tulungan po talaga. So yung nasa local government units natin, sana po maging model din, no, para mas marami tayong matulungan na senior citizens. Magandang idea po yan. No? Okay, para po sa ating susunod na question, what is the definition of indigent, sir? Para sa,
Okay.
siguro tinatanong po nila sa kanilang benefits, ano po definition ng indigent?
That's a good
Pagdating sa
question,
batas po.
really. I'm interested sinong nagtanong kasi gusto kong ma-face to face. But let me answer it this way. According to Republic Act 9994, the social pension goes to one who is frail, sickly, and with no visible means of support. Yung frail, medyo, we have to ask the doctor anong frail. Kaya yung joke ko is yung frail ay maputi pero putla. But again, that's even subjective. We want to have details of what is frail. Definitely sickly is sakitin, no? But finally, when you say indigent, it also means wala kang visible means of support. Then you will have to ask yourself, ano yung poverty lines? Anong poverty lines ng probinsya natin? Anong poverty line ng Metro Manila? Kasi iba't ibang lugar, iba-iba ang poverty line. So, yan po yung nakikita kong variation na gagawin dahil sa ngayon nga, ang DSWD ang nagde-define doon sa indigent senior citizen. Hindi pa po kami kasali dyan. But in the future, as we will be able to make our IRR, we want you to actively participate doon sa paggawa ng IRR ng 11916 na kung saan ini-increase yung social pension from 500 to 1,000 pesos. So with that, I hope you will help me define what is indigent. What is definite is indigent ay kulang ng pera or unable to help himself financially, di ba? And then of course the argument comes in, kaming mga SSS members, ang binibigay sa amin ay 3,000 lamang. Paano yan? Kulang na kulang yan. But then again, the law is hard. The law defines it in the way that yung mga walang social pension ay yung walang retirement benefit, yung walang suporta galing sa mga anak, yung walang GSIS, SSS, private insurance ang makakatanggap. Yung wala, ibig sabihin, pag may SSS ka, may GSIS ka, may PBAW ka, yung sundalong nagre-retire, at may private insurance benefit ka, you will not qualify. So, it's very broad, but we want to spell the detail because we know that poverty situation in different parts of the country would also vary.
Sir, ito po, last question na about discounts. Ayan, kaya gusto namin ihabol anything about discounts. And also, reminder to businesses who have e-commerce. Make sure po sana na you also apply the rules of discount sa inyong electronic channels kasi po yung ibang seniors ay hindi na po nakakakuha ng discounts kapag sa e-commerce. So sana ma-apply nyo rin po ito sa inyong mga e-commerce websites. Ayan. Last question po sir natin. Regarding the use of alternative ID showing birth information of the senior citizen, may I know if allowed pa po ba ito Meron po
Yes.
kasi di nag-honor ng alternative ID. Like for example, sa bus and some eateries. Na-experience ko po ito nung wala pa akong senior citizen ID. Yan.
Yeah, Cory, yung dalawang question na ano yung una? Yung unang question is about punta muna tayo doon sa pangalawa, yung sa senior citizen ID. Uh, the law is now very clear, and in fact, it has been proven in one case, the case of Attorney Romy Bacalintal, na hindi tinanggap yung senior citizen ID niya. He presented yung driver's license niya and hindi tinanggap. And the courts have resolved it favorably in favor of the senior citizen. Lahat na government issued ID ay dapat irespeto. So ulitin ko lang, yung government issued ID is a basis for being considered senior, hindi necessarily yung senior citizen card. So yan po yung current na jurisdiction, na jurisprudence sa Pilipinas. Yung previous question, Cory, I'd like to answer that, but I want a repeat of the question. Yun ba yung discounts?
Sir, comment lang po na kasi yung mga iba pong e-commerce websites parang hindi na po
Okay.
nabibigay yung discounts para sa senior citizens kasi nga
Yeah.
po parang digital na. So paano po yun?
In a GMC, a Joint Memorandum Circular na nilagdaan ng NCSC, DSWD, DILG, and all, obligado po yung lahat na e-commerce businesses na magbigay ng 20% plus 12, provided na ibigay yung senior citizen ID or the equivalent of government ID para malaman kung talagang senior citizen. And then it will be presented during the actual delivery, ipapresent yung ID at saka yung booklet, no? And when it is already confirmed, siyempre mag-avail siya ng discounts. But if there are none presented, magbabayad yung nag-order ng original price kasi wala siyang senior citizen ID at booklet or equivalent ng senior citizen ID. Meron na pong may rule na tayo niyan. GMC number 1 series of June 2022. So published na po 'yan.
Okay, sir. I think that's it. I'm really impressed with your answers, Attorney Franklin Quijano, kahit po sa digital, nasagot nyo rin. And I'm sure you're going to take the concerns of our senior citizens about yung kanilang data privacy sa inyong data collection. Ayan po.
Thank you,
Kasi yun
Cory.
yung madalas nilang comments, sir. Opo.
Thank you very
Marami
much.
pong salamat.
Yeah, and I look forward to more interaction with you. Remember, technology addresses not just the present but the future. And so I look forward to interacting with you, Ma'am Cory and Jenica, and let us help the senior citizen by using the more modern technology to make the burden lighter for the senior citizen. Thank you very much, all of you, and thank you, and God bless.
God bless din po. And we want to thank again Commissioner Edwin Espejo for connecting us to NCSC and to your secretary po, Sir Charles. Ayan. So thank you everyone, to all our members. If you have any comments, you can always post it sa ating FB group kung ano po ang inyong feedback sa ating webinar today. So next week, don't forget about our Techie Seniors Quiz Bee, which is only for the members of Techie Seniors FB group na may tagal na pong 2 months pataas. Ayan po. Ayan, marami pong salamat sa inyo. God bless po. Ingat po kayo lagi. Salamat po. Bye-bye. Thank you po.